Well, that Boston team had a chance to sweep tonight. I don't know why, but they were my pick for this round and going forward, so.
I still can't believe that you were cheering for the Bruins. At least some people, most people, would pick the Penguins to win just at least one of the games. Definitely need a good start tonight. Brad Marchand getting under the skin of Sidney Crosby. Nice and early. He throws a hit in front of the Bruins bench. Then he plays pest. Doesn't get in Crosby's head just moments later. Chris Kunitz finds Crosby. He walks out front. Tuukka Rask is there to make the save. Minute after that, Kunitz to Crosby again. And Rask makes the stop with his shoulder. He allowed just 2 goals off 101 shots through the first 3 games of the series. Second period, Bo Bennett nails Torrey Krug in the corner. Krug was bloodied on the bench. Seconds later, Kaspers Dogovins with the toe drag. And he beats Thomas Vokoun, but he rings it off the post. The shots were 18-17 Boston after 2.
Here's Marchand at center. Now he's got Horton with him. Horton tapping his stick, wanted the puck. Also coming up is Krejci. There's the shot. Score! Adam McQuaid.
Finally, somebody scores. Now, final minute, Penguins with the extra attacker. They were all over the Bruins, but Rask was everywhere he needed to be. Dying seconds, a Ginless shot is gloved by Rask. Boston sweeps Pittsburgh on their way to their second Stanley Cup final in 3 years, and they keep away from the Prince of Wales trophy. No touching that thing. They're calling it one of the best boxing fights that anyone has seen in Edmonton in a very long time. One major and well-respected boxing website, boxrex.com, gave the bout a 5-star ranking, which is the type of review usually reserved for top-level fights featuring stars like Floyd Mayweather. But this tilt involved 2 pro-female fighters, and the healing powers of the local winner is simply amazing. She got her stitches out yesterday. We'd like to warn you that the video in this story may disturb some viewers. Adam Cook reports.
It's the kind of fight that if you saw, you'll never forget. 2 fierce female combatants went to war for the WBC Featherweight Championship in what can only be described as a bloodbath.
Not only female, I think it's the bloodiest I've seen in male and female, to be honest with you.
And Melanie Lubovac would know. She is well established in the fight game as a promoter. The most recent chapter in the Marjanovic-Hernandez trilogy got ugly early.
When I first saw it, I saw that the headbutt happened, and all of a sudden she turned around and I just saw something gushing out.
In the second round, Edmonton's Jelena Marjanovic suffered a severe cut to the forehead after receiving a headbutt. But 7 days and 15 stitches later, the scar is virtually invisible. Doesn't look bad.
Looks good, hey?
It looks really good.
Yeah, the doc did an awesome job.
But at the time, it looked as though Jelena's night would be over quickly. The 2-inch gash seemed too serious to allow her to continue. Trainers and doctors tried in vain to stop the bleeding.
I don't think I realized like how much blood there was, and then in the corner, like Milan was just like, he's like, honey, I can't stop it. Somebody had told me, they're like, yeah, somebody passed out during your fight because of the blood.
As the crowd swooned, the fight continued. Marjanovic could barely see because of the blood, but managed to drop Hernandez in the 5th round.
At one point, I went to the corner to Milan, and I'm like, well, I want to go as long as I can. Don't stop the fight, but I can't see, just so you know. My theory was, like, when I got hit, I just had to hit her back twice as much and twice as hard.
There was a lot of people on their feet. I know I was. I know my entire table was.
The fight was stopped after the 6th, and Marjanovic won a technical decision on points. She says it's the most satisfying and memorable victory of her 10-year career.
I had so much fun during that fight, and everybody's like, I can't believe you fought. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't believe they're like, I can't believe you didn't quit. I was like, quit isn't in my vocabulary.
Adam Cook, CTV Sports.
That victory in the 6th world crown for Marjanovic ended any talk of her retiring, and there are rumblings of a 4th fight between Jelena and Melissa Hernandez. Well, it looks like the Eskimos' defense will once again be the anchor for the club. They have a bunch of returning players, including one guy that other teams game plan for.
You know, you're either going to shy away from that spotlight or just embrace it, and, you know, I'm just going to try to embrace it.
It will certainly be a tough act to follow for J.C. Sherritt, who set a new single-season tackles record last year with 130 and won Most Outstanding Defensive Player in only his 2nd year in the CFL. Well, Sherritt is certainly proud of his individual accolades. He really just wants the Eskimos to succeed.
When I go home, people don't ask, how was your individual season? They ask you, how'd your team do? and I want to tell him I was a champion.
JC is a pro. He's evaluated his game. There are some things that he needs to modify, and he's done a tremendous job so far of showing that he's addressed those situations. Pro is always going to look for improvement.
And the Edmonton Prospects entertain the Okotoks Dogs at Telus Field tonight. All knotted up at 4s in the bottom of the 9th. 2 on, 2 out. The Dogs get a hit, forcing a walk-off. Prospects lose 5-4. The high-profile field for the upcoming Edmonton Track Classic International continues to grow, and the women's 100-meter hurdles event should be sensational. It was announced today Canadian Olympians Jessica Zelinka and Felicia George will take part, as well as American Lolo Jones, who finished in 4th in London. The EITC will take place on June 29th at Foot Field. 2 of the world's top players clashed in the men's semifinals at the French Open, and it was turned into an instant classic. World number 1 Novak Djokovic taking on Rafael Nadal, who has only ever lost once at this stadium. The match featured rallies like this one, tight plays at the net before the Serbian gets Nadal running around, and he finishes it off with a lovely drop shot. Djokovic won the 4th set, forcing a 5th. Final set tied at 6, pressure on, and Nadal comes up with the running forehand, an incredible shot, and he goes up 7-6. 8-7 Nadal. Now Djokovic serving Nadal with a chance to break, and Djokovic hits his shot long, so Nadal is going back to the final after over a 4.5-hour 5-set marathon. He will take on fellow Spaniard David Ferrer as the 4th seed took down number 6 Joe Wilfried Tsonga in straight sets. This is Ferrer's 42nd Grand Slam tournament, and he will finally be playing his first championship match. And finally, Canada taking on Sweden in the semifinals at the Inline World Hockey Championships. Canada held a 5-4 lead heading into the 4th quarter before the Swedes scored 6 unanswered goals en route to a 10-5 victory. Red Deer's Adam Ross scored for the Canucks, who will face Slovakia tomorrow for bronze. Are you happy now that your pick won? The Bruins are advancing in a sweep over the Penguins?
It'll make it interesting.
It sure will, yeah.